Hello and welcome to Me and My Golf TV. I'm Piers Ward. You've joined us at the Lake of Isles Golf Club. It's the new TaylorMade M1 fitting day and we have a new special instructor. Andy is in San Diego. We've got rid of him at last. We have Mr. Haney. Hank, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm glad to be with you.
Cool.
Let's take charge of your game.
Okay, Hank, thanks so much for spending some time with me today. So, driving.
Yeah.
So many, we are here at the M1 launch, obviously the new TaylorMade driver. So many people that we coach struggle with driving, you know, so let's give them your 3 top tips. So what are the 3 most important things? Yeah, so open a can of worms, I know, but 3 top tips.
There could be a lot of them, but yeah, definitely with the driver. I mean, first off, you want to take advantage of the adjustability of drivers. I mean, you know, obviously you want to hit the ball, you know, straight, but you want to hit as far as you can.
Absolutely.
And the key is you want the proper launch angle and the proper spin rate. With the M1 driver, you got an opportunity to adjust in a couple different ways. One way for the curvature, so I can move this weight. This is a 15-gram weight. I can put it more toward the heel, which is a little counterintuitive to some people. But if I put weight more on the heel, it slows down the heel. It speeds up the toe. So it's going to create more of a draw. It's easy because it says draw. Or I can put a weight a little bit more to the toe. It slows down the toe, speeds up the heel. So you look at your ball flight. What is, it always gets down to the questions, what is your big miss? You have to eliminate your big miss. I mean, everybody's good ones are good. You got to fix your big miss. So depending on what your big miss is, you have an opportunity to adjust to correct that somewhat. So let's get all the correction we can first out of the club. This other adjustable weight has more to do with the spin of the ball and the trajectory you're hitting at. So if I move the weight more forward, it's going to spin a little less. If I move it back, it's going to spin a little bit more. If I move it back and move it toward the heel, I'm going to get my maximum amount of curvature from right to left. So you also have the adjustment of the loft. You want the ball to launch at the right angle. So many times today, what I see with people with their driver, first off, is even if they have an adjustable driver, they don't have it adjusted properly. This driver has the greatest adjustments you can have, but get the equipment to work for you. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, second thing, when you're hitting a driver, I mean, obviously you're either curving it one way or another. You're either slicing it to the right. 90% of the people that play golf slice to the right, or you're hooking it to the left. The first thing that I would always check with somebody who's curving the golf ball one way or another too much is I would check their grip. If you grip it too strong, where your hands are turned too much underneath on the club, and you hook the ball, then you would put your hands a little more on top of the club.
So we call that a hooking grip if you hooked it, but if you didn't, then you obviously wouldn't change it.
You don't change it. You don't change it. Like people say, how's my grip? Well, what's your ball flight?
What does it do? Yeah, absolutely.
What's your ball flight? So if somebody has a strong grip, but they don't hook the ball, you don't change that grip. But if they do hook it, then put your hands a little more on top. If you slice the ball and you have your hands too much on top, put them more underneath. So that would be the next thing I would say. So make sure the driver's right for you. Make sure you got the right grip that matches your miss, whatever your miss is. Okay. And then the last thing would be with the path of your swing, trying to adjust that and get your path and the release matched up with your swing to change the curvature of your ball flight. So let me show you what I would do there. You know, ideally, you're obviously swinging on an arc from inside to straight and then back to the inside. With a driver, if I'm going to try to hit just a little tiny baby draw, if you will, I'm going to try to get the path of my swing going just a little bit from in out. Let's just say we want to be swinging 2 or 3 degrees to the right. Okay, so I'm swinging to the right of my target, meaning that if this was straight ahead, I'm just swinging 3 degrees to the right there. With a driver, I also want to be hitting up just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to hit up a little bit and I'm going to swing a little bit to the right. If I slice the ball, I probably swing down and too much to the left. So I'm always telling people, I want you to feel like you're swinging up and to the right. The right meaning over there into the trees, and I'm swinging up meaning I'm hitting up from this direction. So if you slice the ball, you need to get your swing to go more to the right, and you need to feel like you're swinging up on it more. And the last thing you want to do is you want to feel like the back of your left hand is squaring up right before you get to impact. So you're squaring the back of left hand before you get to impact, and even to the point of doing it too early. Because if you're slicing the ball, you want to create some ball flight change. I want that ball to turn in the opposite direction. Okay. Now, if you're hooking it, it's just the opposite. If you're hooking it, you got to get the path going a little bit more down into the left, and you have to get your body turning through more, because the faster you are with your hands, then the more you're going to close the face. But it's fast with the hands relative to how fast you're turning your body. So I can't really be too fast with my hands because I want to hit the ball as far as I can. So when somebody hooks it, what's happening is their hands and arms are going, but their body's not keeping pace with it coming through, and the path is going too much to the right. So if you hook, swing a little more left, speed the body up coming through. If you slice, swing more to the right, square the club with the back of your hand before you get to the ball, and depending on your ball flight, check your grip and make sure the club's adjusted for you properly.
It's very interesting that often when we coach as well, we will say to someone if they're slicing the golf ball, I want you hitting it left. I don't, for the right-handed golf, I don't mind if you hit it in that fence over there. You need to understand how to change that club face relationship and get that good.
You're 100% on the right track, because the more I hook the ball, even if it's a pull hook, it sends a message to swing more to the right. It's hard to get somebody to swing to the right that's slicing to the right.
Of course,
But if the ball hooks at least, I don't care where it starts, if it hooks, it's a step in the right direction. I always tell people, just like you're saying, the road to good golf goes through a hook, not a slice. You go from slicing to hooking to good golf. And that's what and it starts with that driver.
We talk about it all the time, that if we had a preference for someone, if they could have an open club face or a closed club face, we want a closed club face because of all the movements that you have to do to square the face up are actually really good, powerful moves.
There you go.
Whereas all the moves that you do to square the face up with an open face, it's like an over the top, it's an early release or something like that. And these movements are sort of happen as a result, and often, as we know, the club face is the king on this, isn't it?
Correct.
Just an interesting one, going back to, for instance, the slice. I mean, we do some setup changes as well. I'm sure you do something with that. What would you do in the setup for someone who slices it?
The more,
assuming the grip is good.
The more you set up this way, behind the ball a little bit, and the more you set yourself to the inside, the more you're promoting that upward hit to the right. Another thing I do is with the stance. When somebody slices a ball, I'll have them just barely toe out with the left foot, and I'll have them toe the right foot out a little bit. And by turning the right foot out, it promotes more of a turn in the backswing and a little bit more of this motion going forward, because you need that bump forward with the hips to keep the ball from pulling to the left and slicing back to the right. So I got to get this move right here. So the stance will help that. If somebody slices it, then it's the opposite. Put the right foot a little more square, turn the left foot out if you hook the golf ball. But the stance can make a difference. And the setup, you set a little more behind it if you're going to try to play for the draw, and obviously maybe a little bit more closed, a little more, so you can get a little more from the inside. And then a little more on top of it and a little bit more to the left with your plane and your body lines if you're trying to fade it.
And it's very interesting because we get a lot of people who come to us for lessons, I'm sure you get the same, and say they struggle with their aim. And you go, well, and they play on the golf course and they slice one out to the right, and their playing partners say, oh, you were aiming there, you were aiming to the right. And we go straight away, well, hang on a bit, the first thing is, unfortunately, don't listen to your playing partners. You actually aiming to the right is creating a better chance of you actually getting it going to the left.
Correct. And it's hard to aim if you don't hit straight. It's easy to aim a gun because you have a given. The gun shoots straight. These don't shoot. These don't shoot straight.
We're not that good, are we?
These don't shoot straight. So when you, like you said, you hit a 50-yard slice, and then you hit a 30-yard slice, and then all of a sudden you hit a pull. I mean, how are you going to aim the next one? So to a certain extent, the aiming is a little bit overrated.
Absolutely.
But you've got to get a consistent ball flight. Then you can aim better. But I will say this: regardless of where you're aiming, you want to get your everything lined up good. Together.
Of course.
So the club face, your body, your hips, your knees, your feet, your shoulders, your eyes. Get all that lined up together, and then you can at least hit the ball where you're aimed. And then once you start to hit it where you're aimed, then you can figure out where you want to aim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You're welcome.
So Hank, thank you so much. So we've got some good pointers there. We've obviously got the club. Make sure the club is set up to you,
Yep.
you know, so you can get the most out of it, obviously, most out of your golf swing. The grip, obviously, very important that the grip is actually matched to your miss.
Yep.
I like the way you said that there, because, you know, so many people, as you said, will say, I've got to get my grip good, and they, well, why are they trying to get it good for?
Yeah.
You've got to correct that shot.
A good grip is one that matches your swing.
Yeah, absolutely. Hank, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Have a good day.
Okay.
See you soon.
Very much.